In a world where the cunning rule and the foolish are led, the greatest danger is not weakness, but stupidity that doesn't know itself. Stupidity is far from harmless. It is a silent poison. It destroys families, collapses kingdoms, and sends entire lives into downward spirals of failure. The greatest disaster does not come from others, but from the lack of awareness within ourselves. And the tragic truth is this: a stupid man never thinks he is stupid. He believes he is sincere, kind-hearted, yet it is that very goodness which becomes the first sign of self-destruction in a world ruled by power. Machiavelli once warned, "A prince who surrounds himself with fools will soon become one." This truth doesn't just apply to politics, it applies to every relationship, every daily interaction. Because stupidity, when left unrecognized, spreads like a disease. It makes a man predictable, manipulable, and easily sacrificed like a pawn on the chessboard of power. In every relationship, there is one fatal mistake the foolish always make. They believe that kindness will protect them. They wield their kindness like a shield, thinking that if they live righteously and sincerely, the world will return the favor. But they fail to understand a basic truth. The world does not operate on emotional fairness. Kindness without strategy is nothing more than exposing yourself to wolves. A wise man can be compassionate, but only when it serves a greater purpose. The fool, on the other hand, gives unconditionally, trusts without reason, and forgives without limit. He believes gentleness is a sign of noble character, when in reality it is an alarm bell for opportunists. He doesn't realize that to those in power, kindness without boundaries is simply weakness, the mark of a perfect victim. Thus, every goodwill gesture he makes becomes another brick in the cage he unknowingly builds around his own life. Observe the foolish man in public. He apologizes for nothing, yet never defends himself. He smiles awkwardly when politely insulted, agrees to terms that leave him disadvantaged, and laughs nervously when his personal boundaries are violated. He calls it patience, understanding, or being reasonable. But to the cunning, it's nothing more than an invitation. Use me. The fool confuses gentleness with wisdom. He believes that if he is kind and humble enough, the world will soften toward him. But the truth is brutal. The world does not reward the kind, it uses them. Those with power do not see goodness as a virtue. They see it as a crack to exploit. He offers help no one asked for, says yes even when he means no, is always available, always present, always hoping that if he is good enough, others will finally value him. But the more he gives, the less he's respected. The more he tries to please, the more invisible he becomes. No boundaries, no sharpness in his gaze, no fire in his heart. He is like a door left open, and anyone can walk in, take a piece of him, and leave without looking back. And when the wolves arrive, the manipulators, the flatterers, the power-hungry, the fool cannot stay silent. He speaks as though silence is a burden, not a weapon. His words spill out not because they are needed, but because he fears the emptiness of being ignored. He dreads not being seen, not being heard, and that fear turns him into entertainment in the eyes of the strong. While the wise watch in silence, gathering information, the fool becomes an open book, easy to read, easy to use. He shares his beliefs, goals, worries, and secrets, all in the name of connection. But not everyone is worth connecting with. In the world of power, unlimited honesty is not noble, it's suicidal. The foolish man not only speaks too much, he also trusts too quickly. While the wise observe, test, and wait, he gives away his trust as if it were a moral obligation. He does not realize that trust is a weapon. And like all weapons, it must be wielded strategically, not given freely. He believes in smiles, in apologies, in sweet words untested by time. He forgives before knowing the truth. He shares his soul with strangers, partners with flatterers, lends money without assessing character. For him, the feeling of "this seems nice" is enough to surrender everything. And when betrayal arrives, he calls it bad luck. But this isn't fate, it is carelessness disguised as innocence. Instead of testing people through time, conflict, and pressure, where true nature is revealed, he takes the easy path. He trusts instantly, loves quickly, gives away his heart without armor. He mistakes friendliness for character, charm for honesty. He sees what he wants to see, because his ego demands that his judgment be correct. And when it all crumbles, he learns nothing, only blames the stars. Trust in the real world is not a moral obligation. It is a transaction. It must be earned, paid for with consistency, time, and trial. To give trust without testing is not virtuous. It is blindness wearing a halo. Meanwhile, the intelligent man is never in a rush. He observes behavior, listens to speech, tests through small trials. He never hands over the keys before knowing the gatekeeper. But the fool does the opposite. He asks no questions, looks no deeper, and doubts too late. And so he walks into traps, not because others are too clever, but because he is too obvious, too eager to trust, and too willing to become prey. That kind of untested trust is not the mark of a pure soul, but of a man who has never learned how to survive in a complex world. And sadly, that is a lesson often learned too late.